right, it's Wednesday. That means it's time for the only rock and roll show on YouTube on Wednesdays. Right here, right now. We've got so much to talk about. I see a lot of people piling in. That's why I wanted to start right on time. A lot of you are early, and it's good to see you. The title of today's episode, I got to read it, is the question everyone keeps asking. And it should be the question everyone keeps asking me. The title is slightly misleading. I wouldn't call it clickbait, but there's a few questions that people keep asking me. And I don't mean when is Vito Bratta coming on the show or that kind of nonsense. But there's a few things, music topics in the rock and roll industry that everyone seems to want my opinion on. And who am I not to give you my opinion? All my fellow time wasters who are joining me again, I will point out we have a lot to get to tonight. And I will also let you know that this Friday, new interview with Britt Lightning of the band Vixen. So she will be here, and you're going to want to check that out. This Saturday night, you can, if you're in the Kansas area, the Mulvane, Kansas area, you can catch Vixen with Slaughter, Great White, and the immortal Stephen Pearcy. So if you're around, come see that. There's only 10 more Stephen Pearcy shows this year, so you're going to want to get to all of them, right? That's what I think. Sorry, my eye has been bothering me a little bit, and I apologize. So let's take a look here. We're going to get things going. I thought maybe it'd be interesting if you guys wanted to guess what the question everyone is asking is. I thought that might be some fun. Maybe we could have a little fun with that. Stephen Pearcy's band is sounding so good live. If you ain't seen these guys, get your tickets because it's the real deal. That's Jay Lee. Jay Lee I met this weekend in at the Arcada Theater in Illinois, I believe. I would also like to say, I forgot. I had a point to make, but California Dreaming says Blotzer's new RATT band. That's an interesting one. I think you're talking about Pearcy. Well, listen. The last few days, the band Pretty Boy Floyd has had some drama. I've had Steve Sex Summers on the show twice before. He doesn't do many interviews, but he was here. And I will tell you, they're having some issues. Christy Crash Majors and Steve Sex Summers are supposed to be partners in the Pretty Boy Floyd empire. Well, Christy Crash Majors claims that he has not been contacted in 5 years. Hasn't been paid, hasn't been paid. And speaking of paid, Sean, thank you so much for the super chat. Much appreciated. So these guys are bickering. Now, I will be honest, I have spoke to Christy Crash Majors a few times since this has begun. Maybe you'll see him on the show. I have an invitation to Steve Sex Summers as well. The things they're saying back and forth about each other are very dangerous. And I think that I could mediate a settlement between them. These lawyers and things are going to cost them a lot of money. So a lot of people have been asking my take on Pretty Boy Floyd. But that is not the question that everyone keeps asking me. There's two things that are sort of related. One of those questions is, will there be a RATT reunion? Well, full disclosure, I work for Stephen Pearcy, the voice of RATT, tour with him, have for quite some time. And so I wouldn't say anything that would jeopardize that, but I think I can speak open and honestly about that topic. That topic also leads to the news that Bobby Blotzer, who I also worked with in 2015, has a band. In his statement, he said that the band sounded so good in 2015, he decided to do it again. He said, my band. The issue I take with that, it was really my band. Those are musicians that I hired, that I put together, and none of them stayed involved. Will any of those people be in this current Bobby Blotzer RATT attack? Is that possible? A lot of people are speculating and guessing who is in the current Bobby Blotzer band. And so far, he's been quiet, very rare. Uh, uh, but I will say, I'm going to tell you who's in his band right after this. Just wanna waste some time with you. Sometimes it seems too good to be true. Nobody out there can waste time with you. 2015, I was working with the band the Sin City Sinners, a band that I created here in Las Vegas, and ran and still run and own and all those fine things. That band began in 2007. Bobby Blotzer came out twice to be a guest, one time at a place called Green Valley Ranch, and it was fine. Then he came to a place called Counts Vamped here. He was a special guest, and I found a young guitar player named Blaze. He was 21 years old at the time. He might have been 20, he might have turned 21 while we were on the road. And I thought that he was one of the better young guitar players I've seen. He had feel, he could play. It wasn't just a guy who learned on YouTube, or out of a Mel Bay book. So he was great. And I said, why don't you come and play with us at this show that we're always putting on this night of Sin City Sinners? Let's show off this young kid. I was kind of doing it as a favor. So he comes on stage. We had a guy named Michael Ellis, who was the bass player in the Sin City Sinners most time, but he's also a guitar player. So he was there. And Scotty Griffin, my good friend and the man who sings the theme song to this show, he was the bass player. And the lead vocalist was a young man named Joshua Allen, who I also discovered here in Las Vegas. He was singing in various cover bands. He wasn't really aware of RATT music, to be honest. I mean, he knew Round and Round, but he was younger than everybody else. And he was more into Rage Against the Machine and Papa Roach and System of a Down, that type of thing. And he liked other stuff too. He was a Southern guy. So, but maybe RATT wasn't his specialty. But he was a talented singer, and I thought he could sing anything. Anyway, so for that night, we did a fun little jam with Bobby Blotzer on drums. Blotzer was a little difficult that time. He called me a few times intoxicated and whatever. I didn't care. I said, we'll do this one show and then I'll never see the guy again. And sure enough, and I think Jizzy Pearl might have sang a little that night too. I can't remember. It's so long ago. And it's neither here nor there. So we did the show and people seemed to really enjoy it. And then Bobby Blotzer contacted me and said he would like to use my band to play with him, and he wants me to manage it. He eventually said co-manage it with him. So I said, well, what do you want to do? Well, I want to play RATT songs. RATT's not together. RATT's not getting back together. I want to play. They don't want to work. Okay. So him and I started talking. I was skeptical. I went to the band and I said, well, we can keep the whole band together. He wants everybody except the drummer. And maybe we can do something. Those guys wanted to make some money. There was some money in it for me. It seemed like it would just be a weekend gig. Sin City Sinners was really our bread and butter, playing here in Las Vegas. So me and Bobby talked more, and I'm the one who came up with the name, the RATT Experience, Bobby Blotzer's RATT Experience. I got the name because I stole it from Jason Bonham, who was running some kind of Led Zeppelin experience. I believe he also got in trouble for that. So we were attempting it, and then we bounced ideas back and forth, including playing a full album in its entirety, Invasion of Your Privacy, and playing songs that other people weren't playing. Again, I work for Stephen Pearcy. There is nobody I'm more loyal to than Stephen Pearcy. But at the time, Stephen Pearcy's band and Stephen were not in the best shape. I would say that Stephen wasn't healthy. This has been documented. And I will say that they were playing the same set list a lot. There was nothing new. If you were looking to see RATT deep cuts, you weren't going to get it. And Stephen was also doing solo music. As much as solo music is great, and you have to sometimes do that to be rewarding, people wanted to hear RATT, and what we did with the Bobby Blotzer RATT Experience was capitalize on that, running a set of deep RATT songs that RATT's never played before. There was a show that was 2.5 hours of deep cuts. Now, Bobby never stuck to playing the full album. There's a few songs he didn't like. I'm not going to get into all the drama. I'm certainly not going to bash Bobby Blotzer. I've done that before. I've done it several times, and it doesn't solve anything. At the end of the day, uh, life is so short. Who really cares? If Steven wanted Bobby Blotzer to come on stage and jam, I would be fine with it. But Bobby doesn't feel the same about me. I will point out that 1 year ago today, I had cancer surgery, and I'm feeling great. Skin cancer on my nose. It's a little scar, but whatever. And Bobby Blotzer was the first person to wish a death on me and say that it was karma. So, is it publicly? That is. So, is it easy for me to say nice things about him? Probably not. So, the more I read these articles about him back, Bobby Blotzer's back, the more and saying my band made me think it's misleading to say that the band that I had in 2015, who also recorded a record in 2014, it makes it sound like they might be there. Well, we're going to get to that in a minute. But so I feel like it was a little misleading. I also think, do we really need this many people on the road playing rap songs? Stephen Pearcy is the voice of Rat, and to me, is the best one to see. Juan Crucier claims he's going to tour as the other voice of Rat. It sounds ridiculous. Okay. And if I had to place them in order, that'd be on the bottom. I don't know why anyone would see it. I don't know if anyone's going to book any of this shit. It's very expensive to travel these days. And shows, I mean, do you really need to see the drummer for Rat or the bass player for Rat? I'm not sure. When you can go see the voice of Rat, who's out there right now, and playing all Rat and playing deep songs added to the set list. Uh, 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 the morning after, nobody rides for free. Walking the dog back from the EP Aerosmith song, obviously. Where you can see it, and the quality of musician in the band is proving it. Everybody who goes to see Steven says it's the best that they've seen it, the best that they've heard it, and they're enjoying it. Everyone's having a great time. So, do I think Bobby Blotzer has the right to perform live? And the answer is yes, 100%. He has the right. He played drums on those songs. He may have had some small writing contributions here and there. The band says it's minimal. Bo Hill says it's minimal, but whatever. Bobby Blotzer has a right to play the drums, and if people want to see him, that's their right too. Do I think there will be shows? Not really. I mean, I think the agency that represents him could throw him on the bottom of some of these hair metal fests. I think he'd have to go on first. Uh, what happened is at one point the Rat Experience was playing the whiskey, Bobby Blotzer's Rat Experience, and he decided to call it Rat. He took a shot. He took a gamble that he believed his partnership in a company called WBS, BS being the key, was going to hold up. It did not. And it's public record that Bobby Blotzer legally did not end up doing well. But he took his shot. He wanted to play. He was passionate about the music. And listen, he's probably bored sitting at home. He wants to get out and play. All of the musicians from the Sin City Sinners that he used quit or had issues with him. Some had pretty bad issues. And so, who is in his new lineup? Well, I mean, I think he's getting ready to make a big announcement. If you guys want to guess, I've heard a few guesses, but none of the guesses I've heard have been correct, including my own, to be honest. Now, I have to say that this is all alleged and that this is all rumor. Maybe it's not true. Maybe none of this is true, and we have to make sure we know that because this is a litigious world. Even though some people uh, uh, lose at that. Anyway, Bobby Blotzer, Yo, and Stephen Pearcy is Rat. Anything else is ridiculous. Sepp is the only voice of Rat. I agree. Is that how Juan? Yes, Juan is billing himself as the other voice of Rat. And I think it's ridiculous. I think Jizzy Pearl is the other voice of Rat. Keith agrees with me. But at the end of the day, Steven is Rat. It makes you wonder why Uh, why aren't these guys all playing together? It's a good question, right? Well, if they can all play, why aren't they playing together? So, and again, somebody points out. Let me see if I can find this here. Somebody mentioned one of the interviews I did. I discussed at length what it was like to work, and it was very popular, and a lot of people found it funny. And it's on the internet. I'm not going to. Here it is. The Classic Metal Show interview with Jason about fake rat is still legendary. I saw Neely. He's the host of the Classic Metal Show. I saw him in maybe Ohio. I think it was. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Chicago. I saw him somewhere. Probably Ohio. Anyway, but it was fun to revisit because of that an interview that was very popular and millions and millions of people watched. I like this guest. This is my favorite. Troy Patrick Farrell as the drummer. Yeah, that would be the best lineup yet. But no, a lot of people guessing. I see Mark Torian's name coming up. Jay Lee mentions that Neely was at the Arcada, so that's where we were. He's friends with Eric from Steven's band, and that's why he was there. He's also friends with Steven. So okay, was Bobby ever liable to pay back what was owed to WB? I believe so. I believe Blotzer has publicly said himself that he has paid off all of his lawsuits. Again, I'm not here to bash him. Will his feelings be ruffled? Maybe. Listen, I'm going to tell you, this is what I've heard. Okay, this is the lineup. He's going to have two guitar players. They're very young. One is 19 years old from Long Island, New York, and the other one is from Ohio. I don't think they're related, but their names are both Licks. I don't really like jolly pirate names, if you will, but the one guy, his name is Dougie Licks Manross. Licks spelled Licks. Licks. Okay, that's his nickname. It's his right. The other young man, the 19-year-old, his name is Mickey Licks, spelled Lyxx. Okay, these guys are supposed to be very good. They're young. I haven't seen them. They are supposed to, I have no problem with hiring younger people. In fact, I thought when Bobby Blotzer was about to announce a new band that he should use a band of unknowns. I think the who's who of formerly ofs gets lame. At some point, the guy who was that guy, who but wasn't really this guy or wasn't really that guy. So listen, maybe we're giving these kids a little bit of publicity, and they deserve it because they're about to suffer probably. So anyway, you can look them up, and then on the bass guitar is not a Licks, this time. I can't imagine two guys in a band named Licks. I wouldn't want one. Anyway, how many licks does it take to get to the center? Anyway, on the bass is not Jeff Duncan of Odin and Armored Saint, and it is not Sean Duncan of LA Guns, but it is Matt Duncan. I don't know. He was in the band D3 or DC3 or anyway. Matt is age appropriate at least, and he will be on the bass. Again, these are rumors. Take them for what you want. I'm just telling you what I've heard. And this is the oddest one. This is the lead singer. I'm surprised about this a little bit because he's singing for another band right now that just released a record. Maybe this will fall through. Maybe he was just rehearsing. But lead singer's name is Gabriel Colon, and he is currently the singer for Lynch Mob. Now, I've just told you the names of that I believe is Bobby Blotzer's Rat Attack band. Now, these guys live all over the place. Okay, you got a guitar player in Ohio, got a guitar player in Long Island. I book flights every day, more than a travel agent, and I can tell you that they're expensive. And when you have knuckleheads in other cities, it's very difficult to get them all in and coordinate and all those things. And Is there that much interest? I think there are people who would like to see Bobby Blotzer play the drums. I think there's people who collect memorabilia and merchandise and maybe would like to get Bobby Blotzer to sign their records and things. Um, so is there a market? Maybe. I don't think it can command very much money. At the end of the day, what is it worth? His original idea was to go out and play with pickup bands. I thought that wasn't a bad idea. Bobby Blotzer will show up in your hometown and play with your local cover band with the word licks in it. And I thought it wasn't a bad idea because then you only have to fly him out. Now you got all these other guys to worry about and maybe a tour manager. Maybe Bobby Blotzer's turned over a new leaf. I had a very bad experience, and so did all the members of that band. It is misleading for him to tell you that they sounded so good in 2015, they're going to do it again. That's misleading because that's not the case. You're not going to see any of the magic or any of the positive reviews that you left in 2015. You're not getting that. Ain't going to happen. None of them are there. Does that mean that this band is going to be bad? No. Maybe it'll be good. Hopefully Bobby Blotzer learned to play the drums. Well, he already knows how to play the drums, but to stay behind the drums. Don't come out and address the crowd. Maybe the kissies, if you're not familiar, go watch it, and the bows and choreography. Maybe he should leave that stuff alone. Maybe he shouldn't dance to Living in America before he goes on stage and drag our beloved American flag across the ground. Maybe these are things he should stop. Just play the drums. Just shut up, go back there, play the drums, let your band do the best, and really let RATT music, which is the best, speak. And then let's see what happens. Some people said, what about Steven and Blotzer on the same bill? Doesn't really make sense. I feel like they're all going to play the same songs, even some of the deep ones. AZ is asking if the super chat is broken. I sure hope not. I don't want to get a job. I don't know. Try again. God forbid I start working. Here's Dragon City Demo, and he says Mickey Licks got the gig because Dennis D is loyal to Steven, and the pay was jelly beans. Don't even know what language you just said, Dragon, but I appreciate it. Let's see here. A lot of people saying they wouldn't watch the band for free. Back him to play in some high school talent shows. Is that the dude from DC4? I think Rowan Robertson was in that band. Well, I know that Rowan Robertson was in it, and I believe he was in it with the Duncan brothers. I'm friendly. Jeff, I've known for a long time. He's been on the show, and I've met Sean a few times. Nice guys. I don't know Matt. Let's see. Some people say it sounds awful even for an opening band. And then, of course, Bobby's ego won't allow him to join another band or start a new one. Well, I think that may be true. I mean, he's difficult. He's difficult. So can it survive? I don't know. I feel bad for these young people. I told my band to be very careful of him and to stick together because he will try to separate you and cause drama. He did all those things. If they would have stayed together, without that band, he had nothing. And he proved it because every lineup after my lineup, in my opinion, was inferior and to the point of almost being embarrassing at times. Not all the guys, but some of them were just downright stupid. He did go out and ask other known players to join his band, former members of RATT, blah, blah, blah. He started the route and no one wanted to deal with him. I won't name the names of those people, but you can guess some of them. They just didn't want to deal with it. Again, at the end of the day, I believe he has his right. He doesn't have to like me. He was never going to like me. I was the one who was willing to, look at this. The super chat is not broken. Tris, I think you fixed it. All this aside, ice cream money. Thank you so much. Sugar-free ice cream. I'm working really hard on counting carbs because of my diabetes, but that's neither here nor there. Jason, thank you so much. There's a lot of reasons I can't be president, but it says here Mickey Licks opened for Steven in January. Well, was he in a band? Maybe I met Mickey Licks. I don't know. Uh, and again, I'm not bashing these guys. Somebody says he needs Stacy Blades back. Maybe he asked him. Maybe he got turned down. I don't know. Uh, and a lot of people talking about John Karabi and Jizzy and Robbie and all those guys. Maybe some of those guys were asked too. Who knows? It's an interesting situation, though, that's out there. And who knows just what the hell will happen. I think at the end of the day, Warren DeMartini comes off the best in all this. He just stays home. He's not going to start his version. The answer to the question, will there be a RATT reunion? In my opinion, no. No chance, no way, no how. There are not two of them who can get along at any time that I know of. As far as any rumors that you may read, because there's a lot of these clickbait headlines. Bobby Blotzer talked to Warren DeMartini and he said he's in. Bullshit. Juan talked to bullshit. To my knowledge, nobody wants to play with Juan. Nobody. Nobody. The ghost of Robin Crosby would not play with Juan. Rest in peace to the king. But it's, and so as far as anyone saying they spoke to anyone, to my knowledge, nobody has spoke to Warren DeMartini. No one that I know has spoke to Warren DeMartini other than Matt Thorne, bass player for Rough Cut, bass player for Stephen Pearcy. That's the only person I know who's seen him and spoke to him within the last year. I've texted him and he's read them, but he has not responded. I would love to have Warren on this show, but I just don't think, you would think all these guys out there put it together for one night and do it for the fans. They don't want to do it. They can't get along. And so that's that. So I think this, my announcement for them is sort of anticlimactic. But anyway, they could use a little press, right? Why not? Bobby Blotzer, Vinnie Vincent World Tour could happen. Let's see. Some of these questions, I don't know, but anyway, well, that's the answer to that. We talked about it. Okay, so Google the names of these guys I told you. Maybe support these guys. They're going to need it all because they're all going to probably have a miserable time. Although I don't know if you'll ever. I think they'll play the Whiskey. I think they'll play Vamped, and then maybe their agent could put them on the bottom of a bill opening for Trickster and Pretty Boy Floyd. That's about it. I don't think you're going to get to hear much, and you certainly will not hear the band that you heard in 2015. Anyway, that's the scoop. Over 300 people watching right now. I wanted to get that said. Hold on. I see. I don't want to miss anything. Sometimes I'm bad at this. What is that? Let me see in here. Hold on a second, folks. I see. It says. I'm seeing these super chats on my TV screen, but I'm not seeing them on this screen. And that sucks. Okay, here they are. They're coming through. Everything's coming through a little late. Okay. Live to Jam. Doug Manross is a good player. At least it'll be a learning experience for him. Yeah, probably learning who not to work with. But if the guy's good, that's a good thing. I have nothing bad to say about these people, especially people who are trying to make a living. And this is from BJ. We all need a good BJ sometimes. And this is a New Zealand 10 from BJ. Thank you so much. That's much appreciated. I'm glad I can bring you some entertainment. On a sadder note, I want to say rest in peace to the great Herschel Savage. A lot of you watching might not know who Herschel Savage was. He's from another line of entertainment. But he was a legend in his field, and he passed away at the age of 70. And he's the last of a group of people that from the 1980s, maybe late 70s, but mainly 1980s, who were sort of a rebellious club. At one point, people made these movies, blue movies, if you will, and it was rebellious to make those kind of movies. It was very Very different. Yeah, it was illegal to do it, and there was this fun little community of people, who went out and made these features, and they had stories, and they were actors. Herschel Savage was a trained actor. I directed Herschel Savage in a movie. He was only speaking in the movie. He's an actor. He was hired as an actor, and he was incredible. One of the best people I've directed. Regular movies, blue movies. Anyway, Herschel Savage was a great guy, and he is one of the last of a generation to see. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Someone mentioned Jerry Butler. Jerry Butler has already passed, sadly. Jerry Butler was in a long relationship with Lisa Loring, who played Wednesday Addams, who was also passed. But anyway, Herschel Savage, a legend. I called my good friend Randy West, who was also in that fraternity, one of the only ones in that fraternity that I can think of who knows where he is or is alive. And we agreed to go have lunch next week because so many people that we all know are passing. So that's what I wanted to say. Jason, block him from seeing him yourself. That's what I do. Not sure what that means, but got it. Bill Shapiro is remembering the great Taxi Girls, and a lot of classics. And I listen, this show is for everybody of all kinds of different things. We talk a little bit about fake rat, we talk a little bit about real rat, and we talk a little bit about Herschel Savage. Anyway, rest in peace, Herschel. John Leslie was also of that era and has passed. Yes, John Leslie is gone as well. To think of there's a guy named Tom Byron who's alive, and a guy named Joey Silvera. After that, Peter North is alive. But anyway, we better not say these names. This is from J. Lee Smith. Does Stephen Warren hard to sign off on this to get a percentage from Blotzer? And does Blotzer get some sales of the box set? Some of that I can't answer. The other guys do not have to sign off on anything. If he doesn't use the name Rat, he's like any other cover band. He's allowed to play the music, and so that whether or not he gets royalties anymore, that's not. None of that's for me to say. Okay. So let's see here. And yes, Randy West did introduce you to Jenna Jameson and Tara Patrick. He did. If you get Warren, Jake, and George on the show, that would be an interesting interview. George has been on the show several times. I once pitched the idea of a tour, Warren, Jake, and George. I was really trying hard to do this, and maybe having Carlos Cavasso on the other guitar. They were all into it except for at the last second, Warren would change his mind and not do it. That's the truth. So, I don't think Warren, I don't know. I think at some point Warren might have played with Rat. I can't really say too much about personal things. At the end of the day, I have to answer to a higher power, Stephen Pearcy. So, okay, we talked about that. Let's see what else. Some of the stuff you're saying, while you're correct, I cannot share it. All right, let's see. This Friday, I am going to be on my way to Kansas, not Missouri, but Kansas, Mulvane, Kansas. And that will be for a show with Vixen Slaughter, Great White, Stephen Pearcy. Tickets available now. Meet and greet packages, too, which have been selling out. We're trying to cap them at 30 or 40, and they sell out every show. We try to make sure everybody gets a chance to meet Stephen. He's not going to tour for another 10 years. I'll tell you that. Not even 5 years. So you better go and see it. Question: does Stephen waste time with us on Wednesdays? Sometimes. And then I'm always surprised because I'm like, he doesn't watch this shit. And then he watches. But he's dealing with some other things today, so I don't think he's watching. But I'm sure we'll hear about this. Bobby Blotzer does watch, for the record. For those who didn't know, Bobby Blotzer watches this show. The question about Warren is, I think he does want to do something else. He's told me that it's not true that he doesn't want to do anything. I think there's a lot of problems, and maybe you wouldn't want to go back to a band that sort of dumped you as well, or sued you. I don't know. Not really for me to say. Again, this is Spike AAA. If your car breaks down, you call AAA. His bike will be there. Can you talk on your intro song, Richie Ramone on Drugs? How old is the song? Where was it tracked? I feel like this is my life. The song is called parentheses. I just wanna waste some time with you. I wrote all the words. The music is was written by a guy named Johnny Rocks, two X's. Not quite as silly as Licks, but uh, and so it was on my album, Sin City Rejects, "Death of a Nation," and I play bass on that song as well. And we're gonna get it out because a lot of people come to the shows and ask for a physical copy of that record. And so I'm going to try to arrange it where there's a few copies left. So if you guys want it, you can have it. And so that's that. Um, what are your plans when Stephen is done? Well, you're the spirit medium. You should probably know. Or maybe you're not psychic. Maybe you're. I can't tell you when it's going to be done, but there's plans in 2025 for stuff involving that organization. I will probably always work with Steven in some capacity. There's other things besides touring and businesses that he has going. And then there's I have some other projects in addition to this show, which is really my line of work. I don't know if I will ever tour manage anyone again. Will you be attending Eddie Trunk's 40th anniversary party? I think so. He sent me an invitation. He didn't send me a bill. So maybe. I think so. Chris is annoying, so we're going to put him in timeout. Okay. Hey, he didn't do anything particularly wrong. He's just an idiot. Okay. Francis would like to see Stephen Warren Blotz, but yeah, good luck. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Okay. We got through that. Again, I talked about Pretty Boy Floyd. I would love to mediate. I would love to be the one to help save those guys a little money and let them continue to perform. And yeah, if you, Steve or Chris are watching, I'm happy to give you my services. I've worked with many difficult people. I reunited Phil Lewis and Tracy Guns. There was a question about Phil Lewis and I missed it. I apologize. If you ask it again, I will answer it. I wanted to, but I don't remember what it was. But I saw something. I sees OJ. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see. A lot of people talking about the last tour diary. I don't really promote these tour diaries. They're just there. Every Monday, you can count on a new tour diary. Last one was my scooter accident. It's only been out for 2 days. Go watch it if you haven't. Next Monday, you'll see part 2, and you'll see more of the aftermath. You'll also see us get stranded in, I can't remember where it was, like Little Rock, Arkansas, or Greensboro, or somewhere where women can't vote, I don't think. Anyway, that's all coming up. And so check out the tour diaries. I have so many. And then I want to point out that in addition to the tour diaries that I put out, there's going to be different versions of my life on the road, which is some of the conventions and events I do too. Wednesday 13 and I. Wednesday 13 is my favorite new artist. He's not new. He's been doing the Murder Dolls. Started 25 years ago or something. But it's new to me, damn it. And I will tell you, I listen to him and I listen to Olivia Rodrigo the most. When I'm flying, I listen to them on the Spotify. So Wednesday and I went to the Halloween 45 convention, and we also went to the locations from that movie and some other interesting ones. And I'm going to share that with you. Because Wednesday 13 is a new fixture on the show. He's about to kick off a 38 city tour. He's going to be here next Wednesday. Fitting. And he's going to tell us, he's leaving for the road right after. He's going to tell us, what do you pack? What do you do? What's the expectations? How do you feel about singing these Murder Doll songs for the first time in 20 years or whatever it's been? Wednesday's got a lot to say. And he's also going to participate in a new segment on the show called Where in the World is Wednesday 13? Every Wednesday during the live show, Wednesday will pop in and tell us what city he's in and what's going on. And if you haven't listened to Wednesday's music, this is the season to listen to it. Halloween, start with Transylvania 90210 and then listen to everything else. Wednesday's absolutely amazing live, by the way. Everyone should catch them. Yeah, if you like horror and you like fun stuff, that's the guy for you. So anyway, go see him. And let's see. Just trying to get to a few of your questions. Good tour diary, no tour diary from the New Hampshire show. I think there was. There's a tour diary from every show. Maybe it's sometimes I put 2 in one episode, so you got to watch carefully. I don't even remember when we were in New Hampshire though. Okay, hold on. This says there's a lady bashing me. Oh, let's just look at it. There is a lady bashing you on the BMI page from Saturday Night Show. It says how mean you were and was crying over a $30 meet and greet. That's the cheapest meet and greet you will ever find. Wow. I don't know. I don't think I've ever been mean to anybody. And the meet and greet's not $30. It's a little bit more than that. But I'm entertaining this because it's funny, but I don't know. I don't know. I didn't. The BMI thing. Those people sold their own meet and greet. These venues are all shady. Everyone's trying to make money. Every venue you play, they have 10 guitars that they're going to sell on eBay, and 50 pictures, and then they want you to do a meet and greet for 40 people that they sell to, and that gets in the way. So maybe it was part of their silly meet and greet. Who knows? I believe me, I'm too nice to everybody. Thank you for saying hello to Bitsy. She's sleeping right now. I jack her up on food, so blah blah blah. Do any old fans of Steven ever show up and get in a line, piss off Steven's girl? Probably not for me to say, but I bet you that there's women sometimes who come out and get a little fresh or a little blue, a little verbose, and maybe, I don't know. I better not. This will be the night they watch. And yeah, my guess, and yes, my guess is that $30 meet and greet was a meet and greet that the venue sold without our knowledge, and it only came with a picture, and their feelings were probably hurt. Blah blah blah. That's life. If you want to meet Stephen Pearcy, go to officialstephenpearcy.com, and there you go. When are we going to get a live with the Thorns? Very soon, actually. Matt and I have discussed it. Matt will come sit in for the day. Matt is a great guy, great bass player, and he's very funny. And you'll be seeing a lot more of him in upcoming episodes. We've had some fun times. Some of these names, like TT Boy, I mean, I don't know where he is now, but probably driving a cab. But he was a legend in his time. Arcata, yes, an incredible venue. Everything about the Arcata was cool. It's in Illinois, St. Charles, Illinois. There was a hotel across the street, the Baker Hotel. And they said back in the 1920s, they had a bridge that went under from the hotel into the Arcata Theater, where during Prohibition, Al Capone was shipping his liquor. And I took a tour, and they showed it to me. 1926, that theater was built. And I had such a great time touring it. And Jay Lee says, Christy was so nice. She shook my hand in line, introduced herself. She was super polite. She is very polite. She's great, too. Travel. Let's see. Kim just saying hello. Nice to see you. Lorraine, Christy's a sweetheart. And hi to Steve and Christy if they're watching. Yes, hopefully they're not, in case I'm in trouble. Buck Adams has passed. Buck Adams, the brother of Amberlynn, has passed. What is this question? I love the show and your sense of humor. Love your On the Road Chronicles and love how you show love to bands like Stryper. Yeah, well, I enjoy the guys in Stryper. And it's fun to do all these things. When is your next show? Well, that's the one in Kansas. Go to officialstephenpearcy.com. Then we're going to be in Jackpot, Nevada for 2 days, which I think is near Idaho. I think you're flying to Idaho. Anyway, I'd love to meet some of you and see some of you. Yeah, and a lot of people love Christy's outfits. Yes, great taste for sure. Oh, I see. The question was about, thank you, Lisa. Phil Lewis got Roddy Radke talking bad about him. This is a tough one. I'd like to have Phil Lewis on the show at some point. So I don't want to say too much. Phil Lewis is known to shoot his mouth off. He knows that. What does Phil Lewis know about Ronnie Radke or anything else? Is LA Guns so good that they can now insult everybody? I mean, I don't want to start trouble. Me and Phil are in good terms. But if Ronnie Radke needs a laptop, by the way, Ronnie Radke's been to prison. I wouldn't be messing around with him. Anyway, Phil should probably just stick to LA Guns, talk about his own things. Why stick your nose in everybody else's rear end? That's just my opinion. And maybe he's right, by the way. Maybe Ronnie Radke sucks. What do I know? But I also don't care. Is the Brit Show Friday live? No, the Brit Show was taped. It was taped last night. And she tells some interesting stories. And and I was very thankful for her. She came in at the last second. And so that we'd have an interview on Friday. My goal is to get this show back in order, which is difficult with my traveling schedule. Mondays, tour diaries. Wednesdays, live, just like we are now. And then Fridays, new interviews, maybe some other content in between. I got a stack of these Universal Monster Lottery tickets that I got to go through. I'm going to cut this show off, by the way, in 14 minutes. We're doing 1 hour today, even though we have a record crowd. A lot of people watching. Gotti4453. Great interview with Randy Jackson. Thanks for all you do. Much appreciated. Someone like Randy is not a household name, and I was really worried how many people would enjoy it. But from what I've seen, people are really enjoying that interview. And someone just said, Dee Dee Ramone. I don't know why. Bill, I'm with you. Dee Dee Ramone's my hero. My favorite songwriter, everything, but I don't know what it makes. Patreons will get the interview later tonight. More actor interviews. I agree. We need to mix it up, right? We can't have the same thing every episode. Some of this I'm just skipping around. This is really your show. I'll be happy when we have, some guests and some sidekicks and people to chat. I like interacting with other people, So anyway, we got a little over 10 minutes. If you got any questions that you would like to ask, I am happy to answer. Thoughts on Exorcist the Believer? I've heard it's terrible from everybody possible. Spoiler alert: Linda Blair's at the end of the movie, and I heard that's terrible too. So I'm not a giant Exorcist fan. It's not my favorite. So I'm in no rush. I suggest using Sean Clark to access his film clients. It's a nice thought. Sean has his own show. And is Sean looking to give me his clients to be on my show? I don't know. I also don't like asking Sean for favors, but who knows? Maybe at some point that could happen. More Danish Drum on the tour diary. I would love to show more. In the last one, he was more available. I'm going to be seeing him this weekend. Maybe we can get 53rd and 3rd. Yeah. Any updates on the Waste Some Time merch? Great question. The idea is, do I use a place like TeePublic, which Sean Clark uses, and have them ship you the merch? Or do I make the merch here and ship it to you myself? That's the question. It will be out for the holidays. A whole array of it. And if I get stuck with it, that's fine. Yes. There's a second Eddie Van Halen pop. I don't have the second one. I only have the first one. I also will tell you that I just picked up the Cure 5-pack today, Funko. It's around here somewhere. I wanted to show it to you, but where is the next tour diary from? The one that's out right now is going to be part 2, Kentucky, and it's good. I like it. Danish Strum guy seems genuine, class act. I like him. And I look forward to seeing those guys this weekend. So Friday, Brit Lightning of Vixen right here. We tell some cool stories with her. And then Monday, part 2 of my catastrophic scooter accident. Next Wednesday, Wednesday 13, we'll be here. And blah, 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 blah. Let's recap. There's a lot of people out on the road playing the music of RATT. One of them has a band of people that I've never heard of, but you heard it here first, allegedly. My opinion on a RATT reunion is that it won't happen. Pretty Boy Floyd, they are having such a heated debate. Steve Sex Summers and Christy Crash Majors. Christy Crash Majors is posting unflattering pictures of a very bald Steve Sex Summers while he was asleep. He's alleging that they are using his voice in backing tracks. He's alleging that Steve Sex Summers is forging his autograph and all the autographs of the band members, that he's selling fake guitars. I don't know. I would like to have one of them or both of them come here and answer these allegations and say, what would you like? What do you want to make this problem go away? That is where I am thinking these days. I like these Wednesday hangs. Your storytelling is very good. Well, thank you. That's much appreciated. And Thomas noticing that Johnny's shorts are incredibly flattering. Yes. Well, Johnny, look, I give Johnny all the credit in the world. It takes guts to wear shorts. I don't have the legs for it. I have what they call varicose veins, and my legs are a mess. I could not wear those shorty shorts that he wears. And yeah, well, the Pretty Boy Floyd thing, I mean, I'll talk about it more next time. Maybe, just maybe, I can get one of those guys on here. They are suing. They are fighting. They are pulling hair pieces. It is really cat scratching. It's bad. And we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Could you please interview Richie's thoughts from the Plasmatics? I would like to. Let's try to work on that. Let's try to find his contact information. Oh, here's Georgia. Georgia says she had to leave for a few minutes. What are we talking about now? Well, let's just start over again. Hold on. Georgia, since you tuned in late, I am going to tell you the members of Bobby Blotzer's new band right after this. Just wanna waste some time with you. Sometimes it seems too good to be true. Nobody out there can waste time without you. All right, welcome to Georgia and everybody else. In case you missed it, there are two people with the name Licks, allegedly, who are not related and will be in the Bobby Blotzer RATT attack, probably not coming anywhere near you. I just wanted to make sure Georgia got to hear that. Excuse me while I have a drink from my Stephen Pearcy, the voice of RATT mug. Waste some time with Jason Green mugs. We'll be here soon. Okay, let's get back to your questions. Let's see. Well, someone says, I can't wait to see my I can't wait for your tours in a van again, crying about Motel 6. I don't know. We don't actually tour in a van. That's not something we do. We only fly. Occasionally we rent cars, but no vans, not for long distances, and no more Motel 6. These venues, we're not taking it anymore. 4 stars or better, top of the line, and that's how it's going to be. Chris says, is that an official STP Stone Temple Pilots, I guess, merchandise? No, it is not, because it's Stephen Pearcy, you dummy. But it is official. Did I like the Plasmatics? I found the Plasmatics entertaining. I don't think it's the best thing in the world. Have you ever seen Bret Michaels' bald head? Not in person, no. We only have 5 minutes. So if you guys have anything you want to say or anything you would like to see on this here show, now's your chance to get it out. Speak about it. The bloodstains on my bed was not in a Motel 6. It was a nice hotel, Delta by Wyndham or whatever. So yeah. Someone said it's hard to figure out what's official. I agree. Jason, you need to interview Rick Fox. That could happen. I'd rather interview Vic Fox. What is your favorite snack to eat? I went and bought snacks today, BJ. And unfortunately, the stuff I bought is all boring Atkins and Slim Fast. And I spent my day in the doctor yesterday, the endocrinologist. Endocrinologist. I think that's how you say it. And boy, I was a bad boy. At this point, hold hold on. Two people asking, "Are you healed?" No, I'm still in a great bit of pain. And same thing here. Are you? Oh, Britt Michaels is hot. Well, that's okay, Donna. It's okay to like bald men. Are you recovered? No, I'm not. I shouldn't stop and to think about other things because then I get sidetracked. Love everything about this channel. Content, interviews, diaries. Endocrine. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, my endocrinologist is now watching. Watching. Where is that thing? No, there it is. They are now monitoring my big fat pale arms, but they are monitoring my glucose. So they will text me when they think I'm being inappropriate. Mark Sanchez is here. Nice to see you, Mark. Didn't someone else write most of the Pretty Boy Floyd debut record, Air Styles? There's no writing credit on the record. That's the story. Chris will come on and talk about it at some point. But that was the story that Air Styles wrote everything. Steve Sex Summers, when he was on the show, gave his comments on that. Mandy, hello, Mandy. Mandy's asking if this is a Libra. Yes, this is a 2. I can't get the 3. I don't have good enough insurance because we don't care about people in this country with health issues. That would make too much sense. That's why I don't talk about politics, but I do tell you I will only vote for people who care about health care, health insurance, and making sure that people aren't dropping dead. Other than that, I don't really care what party they're from. We need to take better care of people. All right. I meet a lot of diabetics on the road, I'll tell you that, and a lot of them are suffering. And it's very dangerous. Almost every day, you feel like you're saving your own life. When the other day I went walking and I was stupid and I didn't bring glucose with me. I was in the middle of nowhere. I was on the phone with Michelle. I had to drop a pin of where I was in case I passed out because I couldn't get to anything sweet. And my blood was down in my 50s and dropping. And it was very hot and I didn't eat. I was stupid for not carrying it. I always have to carry something. So anyway, this is a bitch, but you guys didn't come here to hear about stress is a massive issue for diabetes. 100%. Jason, good night. Thank you so much for watching. Mandy says same for her, and she works in healthcare. Yeah. Lorraine likes her glucose monitor, but my numbers don't go to my doctor. Yeah, I had to. I would need to be. I need to be monitored. Anyway, thank you so much. I hate to leave when we have record numbers. We've been in over 300 this entire show. I hate to leave you wanting more, but I do have to get some things going. And yeah, and Lisa makes the point that you have to carry glucose. There's this band called Haim, not Haim, Haim. And one of the chicks in the band, she recommended this great line of glucose tablets, and I need to have them. I change my purse a lot when I travel, and I forget to move things around. All right, so Georgia says don't leave. Georgia, should I start the show again? I could. And some of this stuff I don't quite understand. All right. Well, I don't really know what's happening. So I apologize to the people at home. I'm reading everybody else's nonsense. So anyway, we've had a great time chatting. I appreciate all of your super chats. Thank you so much. We're just chatting tonight. Next week, Wednesday, I'll be here, and we will get into more complex things. I'd love to show you Bitsy, but I don't know where she is. Bitsy's the real star of the show. Well, maybe next week. All right, everybody. 30 seconds left. I'd like to stay the whole time. Thank you, BJ. Always appreciate a good BJ. 2 brain cells. Thank you. Jason Holstein. Thank you, everybody. By the way, it's Halloween. I've been watching. Wednesday messaged me and he told me about this Joe Bob Briggs and Darcy, the male girl, and they're hosting the Halloween movies. And boy, is it entertaining. I've seen Halloween movies a million times, but their commentary is good. And I recommend you do the same. I'm going to go watch AMC right now. Thank you, Mark Sanchez. I appreciate that. And yes, Hopefully, I'm on the road to recovery or one step into the grave. And by the way, great to see all you channel members. Thank you. And I want to say one more thing before you leave. Please like this video while if you're watching it and you're entertained. Hit like, share it, tell your friends. We're at 15,600 subscribers. I say we because we're all in this together. I feel like it should be higher. I feel like we should be higher, like the gummy that I'm having in a while. I feel like we should hit 20,000 by the end of the year. We're also at about 2.5 million views. Feel like if we all work together, we could get to 3 million views and we could get 20,000 subscribers. That way we can keep doing this because otherwise, your old internet friend Jason's going to burn out and drop. Thank you. All you guys are so sweet. And then become a Patreon. The Patreon really does help me. I will tell you that. It helps keep this damn thing going. Patreon, channel memberships, all that. People get mad that they say I'm hawking for money. I'm not asking for anything. I don't want all of your money, just some of your money. And no, anyway, if you like and subscribe, you did enough. But everything else is great. Rat and roll, I agree. And hit the like button. Joe, actors bring views. Well, you know what, Joe? Send me some actors. I'll get right to work on that. Way back, I told you Wednesday 13th show. I knew you would like him. Thank you, Ravens Wrath 888. I thank you and Stevie Rochelle from Tough, the band Tough and Metal Sludge. He's the one who put us in contact. He said that we would get along, and we did. And yeah, and you get the tour diaries early. For those of you who want to watch it tonight, part 2 will be edited, goes out. Brit Lightning going out to everybody. I've overstayed my welcome. And if you overstay your welcome, you'll never be welcome to stay over. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys all on Friday, back Monday, back Wednesday. Thank you